You know, I think life looks better like this. Hi everyone! I finally got my hands on a copy of Mark Frost's book, A Secret History of Twin Peaks, which I'm doing a review of today. I'm going to keep this non-spoilery, so it's just for anybody who is thinking about reading the book and maybe doesn't want to know the finer details. So I did get mine from Amazon and it arrived a little bit damaged. It has a dust jacket on the front, which seems to be like weather worn and torn. I thought it was a bit ironic given that the book is designed to look like an old dossier or a ledger, and it is described as actually being well worn, suggesting it had at some point been exposed to the elements, which is exactly how my book looks. If you prefer things to be perfect, I assume this is not how the book is supposed to look. It's a little bit bashed, and I guess that Amazon just mishandled it. If you prefer things to be a bit more perfect, then I would recommend getting this from a retailer where you can actually see the copy before you buy it, just to make sure that the dust jacket is not damaged. So I'm actually going to remove the dust jacket because I don't want it to get any more damage than it already is. And when you remove the dust jacket, there is a hidden picture of an owl underneath, and you can read it just like this. It actually looks like one of those very old-fashioned books from hundreds of years ago, doesn't it? The binding and everything. So I actually listened to the audiobook first, and I read like about maybe 10 or so pages into the ebook. And I've seen people reviewing this book on YouTube and posting pictures on social media, but nothing I've actually seen, nothing could actually compare to having this book in my hands. And even though I'd actually seen portions of the book and I knew what it was going to be looking like, it actually looks so much better than I thought it would. I just think it's a beautiful looking book. So as I said, it's designed to look like a dossier of information. So inside the book we actually have recreations of things like letters and documents. I actually will show you that. Old letters which are designed to look old. Newspaper articles, we have pictures, we have scans of passports, everything really that you'd expect to find in a real life collection of documents that someone was compiling. I just love the way it looks. The dossier is being investigated by an agent called TP. We don't find out her full name until the end of the book. We see TP's comments in the margins of the book, and she elaborates on the meaning of the documents and verifies their credibility. And for me, having listened to the audiobook first, it is a different experience reading this, because in the audiobook TP commented wherever she had made a note in the text. So instead of being able to read the full document, she was interrupting the document all the way through, and it made it a little bit complicated to understand because the document was being interrupted with some other comments. However, at the same time, it did allow you to experience TP as more of a presence, whereas in the book you get through the document and then you read TP's notes secondary to that. This is a very thick book and there's a lot of information to get through. A lot of what's in the book requires a lot of heavy reading because of the fact that there are documents which are handwritten, and some of the handwriting is quite difficult to understand. However, I think that actually being able to sit and spend a long time looking at something actually makes you take it in a bit more. It allows you to connect with the material on a deeper level. What I'm finding myself doing is I'm getting so invested in the material that I'm actually reading it, and at points I will be like, that can't be true. Can you verify this, TP? And I'm like looking in the margins for TP's verification that this can that these stories are actually true, because of the fact that Mark Frost, he weaves real-life conspiracy theories into the history of Twin Peaks and the fictional world of Twin Peaks. And a lot of the beginning of the book focuses on real-life stories to do with like Freemasonry and Illuminati and very interesting things that are part of world history that Mark Frost has managed to make relevant to the world of Twin Peaks, and I think it's very interesting myself. I personally enjoy this subject of conspiracy theories, so I find it very interesting and compelling to know such things. A lot of material in this book I didn't know, I've never heard of. Some of it I have. I do think the content of the book, the secret history of Twin Peaks and all these conspiracy theories and the alien theories and the spiritual theories as well, that are woven into this narrative, will actually satisfy a lot of people who are Twin Peaks fans, because I think that that's the kind of genre this is, that it feeds into those kind of ideas that typical fans of Twin Peaks will probably be interested in. The colouring of the book, there is a lot of dark green, dark blue, dark red, and it is not immediately clear what's going on there, but midway through the book you kind of might get an idea of what's going on with the pictures. It might help if you have a pair of these, just to have a look at pictures like that, and you kind of have to close one eye to be able to pictures like that, actually, which don't typically look like they would be 3D. Actually, if you wear 3D glasses looking at that, it takes on a more realistic looking. I don't know if that's supposed to be. I don't know if that is actually what you're supposed to do. But I know that if you look through some of these pictures with a red and a blue lens, Dr. Jacoby style, then you can see things that you might not be able to see as well with the naked eye. It's kind of like a color blindness test. Yeah, that is, whoa, that one there, yeah, whoa. If you are a casual fan of the original, if you are a casual fan of the original show, then there is lots in here that will refresh your memory about the show and help you going into season 3 if you intend to watch season 3. If you are a more seasoned fan, then there might be some things you notice with consistency, that differences that have been made with storylines, etc. And I'm not sure that they really matter. I don't know at this stage whether they matter or not, or whether they are just changes that the author thought he wanted to make. I just don't know. But I think regardless, the book is a whole lot of fun and it is very readable. It's very engaging. I think it would make a great Christmas gift, seeing as we are coming up to Christmas. For anyone who kind of remembers Twin Peaks but maybe hasn't thought about it in a long time, I would definitely buy this as a gift for someone. It's great. It's a really great book to get your teeth into, and I think that you can enjoy it at, you know, the most basic level of just casually reading it to a very obsessive level of noting everything down and going over details and seeing what matters and what doesn't. I think you can attack it either way. So yeah, that's my non-spoilery review of this book, The Secret History of Twin Peaks by Mark Frost, the co-creator of Twin Peaks. I may return and do a more detailed review, of a spoilery review perhaps, in the future once I have gone through this again, but I like to have a deeper look at the book before I kind of make any comments about what I think things mean. I do think that there are certain things in the book which are leading us into season 3, and that they are fairly obvious. So if you're interested in finding out what we might be experiencing in season 3, then get your hands on a copy, basically. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe to my channel if you're a Twin Peaks fan, and you can also leave a comment below to tell me what you thought of the book. And that's it. Goodbye.